Hey everyone, and welcome to the DealMachine Real Estate Investing Podcast. I'm your host today, Ryan Haywood. Today, you're going to hear the coolest story I have heard. In 5 years of doing this business, Dillano Medino is coming back as a guest, second-time guest, and is going to talk about how he made, drumroll, $90,000 assignment fee. You do not want to miss this episode. This is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Enjoy. Dillano, tell us about this the new story. Tell us the new deal. I want to hear all about it.
Yeah, man. So I've been doing this for 5 years now, and when you're in the space, you develop and build a lot of relationships. In this real estate business, you build relationships with investors, you build relationships with other wholesalers. So this deal actually came from a friend of mine who just decided to reach out to me early in the morning one Tuesday and was like, hey, man, I have this deal, and you were the first person I thought of to help me out with this deal. And I said, okay, well, what you got? So come to find out, it was a family friend of his that owned a property, and unfortunately, they were getting foreclosed on the following week, right? And I'm in the North Carolina market, so foreclosures are a little bit different in North Carolina. I know most states, the day of the foreclosure is the day of when it sells. But in North Carolina, there's a little bit more of an extension. They call it an upset bid period. So if a property has an upcoming date and it get ready, it starts to begin the auction process. Somebody that bids on that property, there is an extra 10 days that gets extended on the sale up until the next person decides to bid on the property. So knowing this information, I found out when the auction was on this property, and it was actually the following week. And when I had talked to his family friend about what was going on and everything like that, we had assured her that, hey, we actually have a little bit more time than what you might think. So knowing that, we were able to kind of problem solve, kind of figure out what she needed as far as securities, where she was going to go next if she did sell it, and the whole 9 yards there. So essentially, it was pretty easy to deal with. I mean, she had contacted us and told us that she got an offer for $172 for the property, and my buddy had reached out to her and said, hey, look, we can do 180, but you got to do it today. And the next thing was, where do I sign? Right?
So how did you connection to say 180, but you got to do it today?
So again, I didn't really do too much of the negotiations, but here I do help people in their negotiating process. So a lot of people come to me and they say, hey, a seller got offered this, or the price is this. What should I do? And I'm very good at letting people know that, hey, you do have options, but when it comes to me, I'm going to be your best option, but only for a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
Right. And we're going to go above and beyond with the service. And even though maybe people are at the same price or above the same price, nobody's going to match the type of service that we offer in this position.
Now, just in order to have the confidence to make those statements, you have to have a very tight business. Like you have to trust your buyers. You have to know that your buyers are going to perform quick enough. So like that can't, and I the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I don't want guys to go out there who are just starting and be like, well, I'll offer more and I'll close it in 10 days. It's like, well, hold on, don't do that. Because in order to get to that point, you have to have a level of experience. You have to have a level of confidence that the buyers, either you yourself are going to close it, or that the buyers that you have working with you have the ability to close it that quickly. And I love that, because once you get to that point, you could do baller things like this, where you can be like, well, you know what, I could do 180, but today you have to sign today. Like that changes all of the negotiations that you can do. Like the ability, once you establish your buyers, or you establish the ability to be able to close on a deal yourself, that puts you in a stronger position to lock up better deals, I think. So that's essentially, you had the confidence. That's why you were able to do this. Continue the story. I got off track there, but just keep going. This is awesome.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, I guess kind of just to piggyback on that, whenever you're talking to a seller, a lot of people like get the wrong idea about buyer and seller, right? Mm-hmm. So a seller is wanting somebody to buy the property. And how I look at it is that I don't try to chase that seller or try to, sugar them up to make them, make my offer or make me, more attractive. I'm just telling them, hey, this is what I can do, almost like take it or leave it. But we say, hey, you're guaranteed to get a hassle-free sale. You're guaranteed to, have all your closing costs paid, no commissions. And we can assist you in your next move, which a lot of the buyers and a lot of the competition does not know how to do that, right? And when I look at a lot of these people that we talk to, the biggest concern is, where am I going to go next?
Yeah.
And people think of, okay, how can I sell this property? But how can I make sure that this seller is settled and straightened out, for the next few weeks, next few months, later down the line?
Yeah.
And if you're making a fee, in my opinion, if you're making a fee over like 15 grand or 20 grand, you should be prepared to spend some money to help that person move some boxes or moving or something like that, because not a lot of people offer those services. It's almost like, hey, I'm going to give you what you're going to get, but then you got to figure it out on your own. And that's what enables people or stops them from actually making a decision, because they're thinking about all the hard tasks and all the things that they have to go through alone, versus a company like us is saying, hey, we're in this together and we're going to give you some.
Yeah. To talk on that, we have done before where I'll offer, I always call them programs. And I learned that from the mastermind of it. And somebody had said they have a move out program. They have a leave behind program. Well, I use the move out program because this lady was in this house and I'm like, look, you qualify for our move out program. She's like, well, what is that? And I'm like, the day after we close, I give you a U-Haul truck for 1 day and we help you get everything out. And literally I brought 3 guys over, the U-Haul truck, we loaded everything and we unloaded it, and that was it. But first off, a U-Haul truck for 1 day was nothing. Like, my assignment fee was $20. I may have spent $400 or $500 for the U-Haul truck and the guy's time to move everything. It's like, why would you not? Like, if you can help somebody and it secures the deal for you and you're making $20,000, you should be willing to be able to offer a little bit more value to help them as well. So I love that.
Yep. And then in this circumstance as well, not only did we offer to help her, in her moving and finding her next place, but this was actually one of the first deals where I actually did a seller holdback in this instance as well.
Okay.
So to clarify, with the seller holdback, we said once we close on the property, we will give you 30 additional days to move out of the property. But once we close on it, you will only get half of your net proceeds up front, and then the rest of the money once you have proof that you moved out, right? And this protects the buyer, this protects us, because if they don't move out, then one, they get penalized for it. It's like $150 a day for every day they don't move out. And two, they're not going to get the rest of their money. So
Yeah.
by doing this, we're able to tell them, hey, we'll give you your money. You'll get half now and half later, but you have to show proof that you moved out, you know? And that was the first time I did a deal like that as well, where, you know, we gave her 30 days to move out, and we're helping her move to make, you know, a pretty good fee. I don't know if you want me to say it yet.
I want to hear it all.
So just to recap again, so we got it under contract for 180, and right when it was already negotiated by my partner on the deal, I looked at Zillow, and Zillow alone said the property was worth close to 390, right? So I was like, oh man, we're in business, right? Newer property at that too. This was like a early 2000 built home, brick home. On the outside, it looked really nice. And being fully transparent with you, Ryan, we did this deal. I never once stepped foot in the house. I never once met her in person. Everything was just through phone call. We signed the document with her. Then we went on Facebook, found the buyer, never met the buyer in person. He put down $5,000, non-refundable, and we assigned that contract we did a double close. I'm sorry. We did a double close, sold the property for $275.
Bring what? This is your show. I'm dying.
Hey guys, if you know you want to quit your job in the next 3 months, make sure you're subscribed to this podcast, because we've got some incredible frameworks with step-by-step instruction that you're not going to want to miss. Also, leave us a rating and review to let us know your favorite parts and why you want to get financial freedom.
Holy cow. And how long did it take?
So start to finish, right? Start to finish. Spoke to her on Tuesday. That Tuesday, we closed that Monday, the next Monday. So about 6 days total.
Oh, gosh, 6 days. That's the most money. Oh my gosh, $90,000 in 6 days. Bro, that is amazing. You got to be on cloud nine. Okay. All right. Immediately after you closed, what did you do?
What did I do? Probably a blacked out.
I take time to go and celebrate the wins, because in this business, you and I both know, we've both been at the same amount of time. There are times where you get a $90,000 assignment fee, and there's those times where you get nothing. And those times, I just closed one last week for $1,000, but it was like, I couldn't find anybody to take it. But there's those times where you get 90,000. There's times you get 1,000. You celebrate the times that you get those 90s, because it takes that all that we've been working for over these 5 years, building relationships, because that was literally, that deal came from a past relationship that you had established. It was an old lead. Like, that is amazing. So yeah, I hope you at least went to dinner or something, right? Like,
yeah. You know, I took my wife out, and you know, we went to one of our favorite steakhouse restaurants. We just go to Longhorn, and you know, treated her real nice and, bought her some stuff. But with the money, that's the biggest thing too, is like, we get a lot of money sometimes. And, if you're getting started, sometimes, like you said, you do a deal and it's, $1,000, and you do a deal, it could be 90K, 100K. You don't know. Right. I took it upon myself to pay off some debt, because I was like, hey, look, got some debt we need to pay off. Let's go ahead and pay some business bills and different things like that. And now also too, we've took, that money and we've reinvested it back into marketing, into getting more deals just like this, right? So This lead came from a pre-foreclosure or foreclosure opportunity. I told my team, I said, hey, look, we can do more deals like this. There's more sellers out there like her that we need to find and we need to help, right? So I've made it a mission now to invest into getting, more foreclosure lists, us going to the courthouse, us getting, that fresh data, skip tracing it. And now, like, while we're even on this call right now, my team is out there door knocking pre-foreclosures, offering assistance to people and see how we can help. So that's
the pre-foreclosure game is only going to get warmer. I mean, we're coming into that. This is new for me. Like, I know in 2008 I was alive and I was buying my first house, but this is new for us, where we're going to probably start seeing a lot of these pre-foreclosures coming up. And to be able to strike and like make 90K on a deal, that is so amazing. I'm so happy for you. And like, just the excitement. I know what that feels like. I've never had 90,000, but I've had a $50,000 assignment, and those feel so good. And it's smart, like, get rid of some bad debt if you got it, but then making sure that you're, not going out and buying a new car, making sure that you're setting up the business to do some extra stuff for you. And that we've always been that way, mainly because I've got 3 kids and a wife that keeps me in check. But like, making sure that you're taking care of the business first, so that, exactly like you said, so that we can go and do more of these kinds of deals. So that's brilliant, dude. Congratulations. That is freaking awesome. That is the story of the day. In the UFC, they do fight of the night. This is the deal of the night, deal of the day, probably the deal of the year, to be honest. Like, I would love to hear somebody to come on and say they gotten another $90 or plus $90,000 assignment fee. That's crazy. So cool. Well, what's next? What do you got planned for the day?
Yeah, man. We're doing some active marketing still. We've been, for the past few months, been just like ramping up in our cold calling process. So right now we have about 7 callers. We're looking to scale up and get some more callers, and we're just investing more into our list, pulling more lists from DealMachine. Recently got another deal that we're, in Charlotte, North Carolina, that we're going to be locking up. Well, we already locked it up, but we're going to be closing 2. That's going to be close to a 50K deal. So, I'm just ramping up and doing more data pulls and training on sales and doing more, so that way we can offer more assistance and reach the most amount of people. So that's pretty much it, is just training on that, managing the leads that are coming in, and continue to strike while the iron's hot. Sorry.
Yeah. Good plan. Well, congratulations again. Thank you for being on. I have no doubt people are going to love this episode. I feel like I left some meat on the bone. Like, there was probably questions going on that I wasn't asking, but I feel like that is such a great thing. Do you have Instagram or Facebook for people that want to reach out and maybe ask more questions about this?
Yeah, for sure. If anybody wants to connect with me, you could reach me on my Instagram. That's where I'm the most active. That's where I post the most content. Real Estate Lano, Lano, Real Estate Lano. Follow me on Instagram. I'll follow back. And, let's chat and connect. Definitely looking to connect with other like-minded individuals in the area, see how we could squad up, see how we could JV. Because, a JV deal changed my life. And that's what we're looking to do, is change other people's lives through partnering and working together.
Yeah, man, that's cool. I wish we could dive in. Data design at work. Let's talk about JV. First off, let's call back to episode 94. If you want to watch another episode where Dillano is breaking down some cold calling tips, that was a great episode. Go back to that, check it out. All right, let's talk 2 minutes on the power of JV, because I am in a small market and JVing is tough because it's most of the wholesalers, which we've picked up a few extras in our market. They get so competitive to where they feel like it's us versus them, but they're not realizing, and it takes time to realize this too. Time and experience changes all perspective, in my opinion. The way that you do more is by squatting up, because there's connections that I have that you don't have, and vice versa. Give me a 2-minute blurb about why you feel like squatting up and doing JV deals with other investors is important.
Yeah, I think telling people just about what you do is super vital to your business, because you never know who's watching, right? I started building my brand online and started just telling people about my story and about what I do. And since I've done that, now people are coming to me and asking me, for advice on deals and how I can help them and assist them there. And all that is doing is bringing more opportunities to me and my business.
Yeah.
Right. Because where people lack and they struggle in the beginning is talking to sellers, having conversations, and making offers. Right. And that's our bread and butter. So when you JV, maybe it's one person that's doing the acquisition side, that's talking to the seller, that's negotiating, that's speaking to them. And then maybe it's another person finding the buyer, connecting with the buyer, and then you bring both of them together so that way we can get to the closing table, right? Yeah. And you become the wholesaler, you become the middleman that works to facilitate that transaction. So JVing is super powerful. And a lot of people, like you said, a lot of people are like fearful that other people are going to, take the business away or steal deals and things like that. But I never been that type of person to look like that. Like sometimes people would even say that I'm too for friendly or too sharing of information because there always is that risk that you send a deal to somebody, they ghost you, they go behind your back and talk to the seller. There's always that factor. But ones that act the most responsible, the most ethical, and from my experience are the most giving, usually are the ones that are lasting the longest in this business anyways.
Yeah, I was going to say, the ones that do ghost you, do steal deal, they don't make it. Like, they're not going to outlast you. Like, the good guy will win. The good guy will be the guy that gets a phone call for a house that makes him $90,000. So don't be shady. Don't ghost people. Just squat up, do JVs. Sweet. All right. Awesome episode. Thanks again. Go get another one and let's do episode 3. You would be the first 3-peat guest that we've had. And I think there's some kind of like plaque or something that if you 3 times that you're a guest, you get some sort of plaque that says 3 times.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Send it in the mail, man. Because I know we was there.
Again, I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to the DealMachine Real Estate Investing Podcast. Please leave us a review and follow along wherever you're listening to your podcast.